pressure on Wolves to come to Ashton Gate on Saturday. What can you tell us about the latest team news?
Well, everybody's apart from there's a bit of doubt about Leon Fontaine. He hurt his ribs on Sunday. So he's not trained for a couple of days. So we'll have to assess him in the morning.
Lewis Carey, any nearer a return to fitness?
No, he's getting there, but like I said before, it just takes him a bit longer to get over injuries than any of the youngsters that we've got.
Stephen Pearson, is he seeing a specialist yet?
Yeah, he's due to see a specialist. He's going to have an operation and be out for some considerable time.
And Ryan Taylor, any time period on him as yet?
No, he's done his ligaments, so I would imagine it'd be a minimum of 6 weeks.
And looking ahead to the game itself, obviously, I remember we had this conversation last week. You said Coventry were a team who conceded and scored a lot of goals, and so it proved. Wolves, on the other hand, 2 clean sheets so far. How do you approach this one?
Same as every other game. We're trying to make sure that we learn from every game, and we felt Coventry were vulnerable on transition. What we didn't see was that we were just as culpable. It sort of goes against the pre-season, because the pre-season we looked like we could keep clean sheets, and you might be worrying about could we score goals, and yet once the league season starts, the things reverses 360 degrees, and all of a sudden we look like we might score, but we also look like we might concede. So it's something that we're aware of and something that we need to address. But it's not an individual. It's a team. It's a squad thing, and we've worked hard on trying to eradicate the sources, which is sometimes lack of concentration and awareness of what's going on. And sometimes you need to gamble in the games, and sometimes you don't. So just getting that balance right.
Has the nature of last week's contest sort of influenced the training this week? Put a different emphasis on things at all?
No, because if in some senses we use the whole squad in a game against Swindon, just because if I didn't, then I'd have 10 people training, and you almost can't do anything apart from playing a 5-a-side, which I don't think helps anybody. So we utilise the game to to try and get people back playing pretty quickly, back in the saddle, as they say. And the ones that hadn't played, did an hour. So we sort of utilised what we've got, what we'd arranged, and and tried to get people in and stick to principles that we've worked on that sometimes come awry.
You've spoken a lot about the learning process of this developing team. Will they be all the better players in the future for experiencing a game like Sunday, having come back from 3-0 down as well?
You can ask that to players. I think things, anything worthwhile probably comes out of adversity. You learn more. It cements more. So you'd hope the adversity, that we experience, and some of the things that in football are basics that you need to do, but are almost the most difficult things. You can look at most goals scored, and there'll be somebody culpable for a goal, somebody switching off, somebody not doing their basic job. They'll be more prevalent than the wonder goals that fly in, and you just go, well, you've got to give some credit to the attacker. So, I think that will always be the point in football, and we've just got to make sure that we enjoy doing all the things that are easy to do but difficult to do in a sense, because they're not the sexy things in football. Getting back in position and marking somebody from a throw, or not ball watching, staying with your runners and working hard as a team to stop a cross. They're all the things that you need to do. And when you're successful, that's what when you look at successful teams, they do that week in and week out.
Is it harder to drum that sort of thing into younger players? Maybe they don't enjoy that sort of thing so much?
I don't think it matters how old they are. I think that sometimes you can give people a leeway, but it's football, and it's Marlon Harewood's talking about some of the things, because he's now looking at maybe the other side of his career and talking to the players about certain things. And you know, I remember him committing the same mistakes, you know, a year ago playing for Forest and going, you know, but you just have a different outlook. You know, you get to a certain age and you see things a bit more clearly. And the earlier you can do that, the better player you'll be.
You speak about Marlon there, obviously with Ryan Taylor on the sidelines. So are you looking at more strikers to potentially bring in?
Well, the squad's light, so we know that. But you know, we've got to balance the financial position that the club wants to deal with or deal in with what we can and cannot do. But you know, with one or two unfortunate injuries, when you look at you know, we've had an 18-man squad really for the 3 games, you know, and then we've lost Ryan. You know, so that leaves us, and Liam Fontaine's a doubt, so that leaves us woefully short at the minute. So it's something we need to address. But like I said, recruitment is the most difficult part of football. You can get it wrong so easily, and we've got to make sure that we get it right and not just panic into just getting somebody just to fill a gap rather than getting the right person. So we're looking to try and get the right people in.
Just going back to Wolves, can you draw parallels between Bristol City and them in terms of having to sort of overhaul things over the summer and financially cut back?
You know, I think they get, I don't know what they get, 16 million parachute payments, so I think their cutbacks are probably not as, you know, we don't get that. So I think it's always difficult for clubs coming out of the Premier Division because the gulf in finance is so massive, and then to come out of the Championship is difficult, and then to drop another level is difficult because you're going to have players in some senses through no fault of their own on tremendous contracts for League One, and you know, what do you do with them? You know, it's they've been part of a team that's not been unsuccessful, but they're commanding Premier Division wages, and that's nobody's fault. That's just the industry. So it's a difficult one to manage. You know, not just the football, but the culture of the football club and how everybody deals with it. You know, because if you've got players that are not playing and that they're on large salaries, what do you do with them? Because they're around the place. So you know, you've got to give people an opportunity and an opportunity to do well. And I think, you know, that's what Kenny's trying to do. You know, to try and, you know, give the youngsters an opportunity in League One, and also giving away back for the more experienced players who are on large contracts.
Yeah, obviously they've still got players there from the Premier League times. I mean, and they really came to life last weekend. What are their threats as a team?
No, I think they're a team. I think, you know, when you've got the quality of Kevin Doyle and, you know, and Sacco on the wing, and you know, one or two of the youngsters. You know, they took Lee Evans from Newport last season, and you know, and he's at League One. You know, he can find his feet and progress his career. He's only a young lad, so you know, they've got a really experienced goalkeeper, a good blend of youth that have been, I suppose, crying out for their chance to play, and they've got a chance. So you know, every time you get an opportunity in football, then it's down to you to try and grab it, and they'll be thereabouts. You know, the fact that they can go and spend £750,000 on Kevin McDonald, you know, means their standing in League One will make them probably the standout team from a financial point of view. And they've got a really experienced manager who will know how to manage it.